tires. Today we're going to be tying a second stage emerger in a Hendrickson. And we do this by adding a trailing shuck instead of a tail to your fly. And I do that and I use a Z-Lon type material. It's called Z-Yarn by Montana Fly. It's pretty nice. It's sparkly and it resembles a shuck very, very well. And you put it on like this and you really wrap it right as far back on the bend as you can without actually going down the bend. And you leave it a little bit scraggly like this. And then you take your favorite colored Hendrickson dubbing or body material and you wrap it on nice and light. Just like all your mayflies, you want a nice, thin body, nice profile. And you start right up against the back of the Z-Lon shuck. And you wrap just about to the center of the fly, the shank of the hook. And here, I'm going to use a little bit of poly. It's grayish in color. And we're going to use this for your wing post, and then eventually we're going to pull it over to show you how to make the second stage emerger. So it can be used, you can tie it, stop halfway through and use it as a dry, or continue on, and you'll see what I mean, to make it a second stage emerger. You can wrap this on nice and secure, and trim off your excess. Apply a little bit more dubbing towards the eye of the hook. Make it nice and thin, nice and tight. And you'll see it's right almost to the eye. Leave a little bit of room. You wrap back up, stand your wing up, and wrap behind it. And here I'll put on just a touch more to make sure that it stands up. There will be more added as we go. But that's up nice and secure. And now we're going to put on our hackle, which I like to use a medium done, parachute style, and your favorite way of tying it. I lay it nice and flat like this. I'll make 2 secure wraps to the front and 2 or 3 this way, and then 1 back to the connecting point. At this point, I'll put on just a hair more dubbing to cover up my wraps. And I move right to the center, right here, and then to the eye. So this way you see no thread wraps whatsoever. And it goes to the eye like this. And then take your hackle and start winding. And I always hold the post up nice and straight. So there's 1, switch hands, 2, switch hands, 3 and a half. And here is where I do it a little bit different than most folks. What I do is I drop my hand down with the hackle and the hackle holder, whatever kind you use, switch hands and put my thread on top of the eye and run it up and then drop this down. This way you haven't caught any of the barbules going around. Now for this part here, all I do is just reach in and fan these like you would a deck of cards until you get to the point where the hackles will go right back to the hackle stems that you don't want. You make 2 or 3 real good wraps right in here. You let go, stand this back up, and put your scissors, it's going to be hard to see with the camera, but you can put your scissors right on the eye of the hook like this and make a little bit of a trim like such. And now you can see that all those hackles are still remaining. Now, you could pull this back and tighten this up like such. And pull this up and you have yourself a pretty good parachute Hendrickson. But what we're going to do is we're going to continue on and we're going to make a bubble. And we do this by straightening out the fibers. Make the bubble and put your fingers on it like this. Check where you are out on the eye and wrap down like this. Put 3 or 4 good wraps on it. Make sure that bubbles up. Okay? You can see that all your tail's in perfect spot. Your hackles are good. So now to finish the fly off, you pull up, push back a hair like such, and do your final wraps like this, nice and secure. Whip finish. And pull this out like this. Trim your thread, and then place all your fibers, your hackle fibers, in a perfect circle. This now is overextending. The bubble is up in the center, and your cutoff point on your post is extending over the eye. So what I do is I trim it off like such, and that's what a second stage emerger looks like. It is a real good pattern to catch a weary trout.